I think it's pretty safe to say that season 2 of Batwoman will be its last. I know the showrunners said they're committed to the long-term future of Batwoman. I just don't see how that's going to work, especially if no one's watching it. Now, HBO Max will be paying very close attention to how many people watch this series, how long people watch it, how many episodes of the season people watch, and so on and so on. That's really going to depend on how many other seasons we get. Will we get a season 3? That's going to depend on how the show does. Mostly on HBO Max. HBO Max is, from what I understand now, the main reason the show even got a season 2. Because remember, the ratings for this show are absolutely disastrous. They lost a lot of people. A lot of people tuned out of Batwoman. They don't like the show. The show sucks. Now, you would have thought, anyway, that all of the super woke Twitter people would have supported the show to be rocking Batwoman avatars and buying up whatever Batwoman merch they could find. They didn't. Big shocker, right? Big shocking development there that no one supported the show, because this show is exactly what all of the people that claim they like superhero stuff wanted in a woke superhero show. Her identity and who she hooks up with was more important than the actual plot. They dedicated shows to it. My most favorite, and the one where about 400,000 people dipped out, is the entire episode that they dedicated to who, Batwoman wants to hook up with. That was an entire episode. There was rumors that Batwoman might like dudes. Oh no, got to put the stop to that. It's very important that Gotham knows who Batwoman likes. The vigilante character, not the person. This is the kind of nonsense I'm talking about. So, sum things up. Ruby Rose, the woman who is playing Kate Kane, is leaving. She's gone. And instead of recasting her and just bringing in a new actress to play Kate Kane, they've decided to reboot everything, but not reboot. It's, I guess you would call it a soft reboot. And they're going to have what's her name? Ryan Wilder. I think that's probably a placeholder name. I looked up this character, could not find anything on Ryan Wilder in the DC universe. Maybe I'm wrong. Whoever it is must not have had a very significant part in anything. I don't know who Ryan Wilder is. But she's an anti-hero who lives in a van and has a plant. So she talks to plants, lives in a van. She's not a very likable character. She just likes to beat people up. And she likes to deal with drugs, apparently. These are cornerstones of her character, and they seem to think that this character is going to appeal to people. Let me give you a hint. She's probably not. And, of course, she's into chicks. That's a very important thing. In fact, that's the most important thing that there is. They made sure to say that right away. So how she becomes Batwoman, I don't know. Some of these websites are trying to rack their brains behind it. What I find funny, though, is a lot of media outlets are admitting this isn't going to work, which I found surprising because you would think they would be all about this. I mean, they're called shill media for a reason. That's not what I've been finding. We can jump right over here. This is Batman News. Never really heard of this site, but they admit Batwoman replacing Kate Kane is a mistake. They call it a terrible idea. What we're losing, they're losing everything about the show that people, I guess, that liked it liked. The keeping Alice, I don't even know how Alice can stick around. That was the main villain of the show, and that was Kate Kane's sister. Really doesn't make much sense. You're essentially going to have to spend a lot of the season introducing Wilder and giving her an origin, because you can't just throw her in there. You could have done that. You could have done that if you had just recast Kate Kane, but instead you're going to have someone take up the mantle, which is something that happens quite a bit in DC Comics, but now you have to essentially restart the show. You have to introduce this character, give her an origin, what's the reason that she's picking up the mantle, and so on and so on. So all of the plot threads laid out in the first season are basically wiped. It really doesn't make much sense. And a lot of people, especially the media, likes Kate Kane. Of course, for all the woke reasons, not that she's an interesting character. Well, at least in the comics, she's an interesting character. This Batwoman show version sucks. It's a terrible show. You can go find some of your favorite reviewers that have done episodic reviews, and they'll tell you that. But for the most part, everyone is against this. There's not really any shills saying it's brave and stunning. They're saying this sucks, and no one's really on board with Wilder. They're like, Ryan Wilder is lame, which I find a lot of humor in. You mean people don't like mean, nasty characters that just beat people up? I mean, that's the description of the character as a pro, is that she beats people to an inch of their life. Like that's gonna really get people to jump up and say, wow, that's an interesting character. Why is every woke character in media angry woman? Have you ever noticed that? Even Kate Kane, to an extent, was angry woman. Do they have any other personality types? Is there anything else to these characters? Any kind of death? Anything to like here? So we're replacing angry woman with angrier woman, except this one is broke, lives in a van, and has a plant she talks to? Okay. Brave and stunning, I guess. But the media doesn't seem to agree with that. Alice is gone. Luke is kind of gone. I don't know how you're just going to have him show up and start working with Wilder. What are they going to go out and recruit her? They're going to find some addict that's like foaming at the mouth with the van door open and say that this is definitely who we need to be the new Batwoman. It doesn't make much sense. Mary is gone. Commander Kane is gone. Sophia, Julia, Reagan, how are you going to work all these characters in? Supergirl, she's not going to just come in and bond with the new character. All of the things that people liked about season 1 are out the door. You got another one here. This one from Digital Spy. Batwoman season 2 is making a huge mistake that will impact the show. And no, we're not just talking about the recasting. They're not on board with it. I, of course, find that humorous. Usually, these outlets offer no criticism whatsoever. It's usually just shut up, obey, consume. They don't really ever criticize any, especially a show like Batwoman. They rarely ever offer criticism to a show like this because on paper, it's everything that they want in a show. And that's why they don't criticize it. So anything that they decide to do for season 2 should be a win for them, except it's not, and they admit it. And I find that absolutely delicious. Very, very delicious. All these articles out here saying that, this is a bad idea. And I agree with them. It's just funny to see them saying that. So I'll keep watching this narrative. I'm really excited to see who they bring in for this character. They've already said that this character must meet certain woke standards. And they've kind of said, I'm sorry, we're sorry that we let you down the first time. Because if you remember, from what I understand, Ruby Rose likes the dudes and the ladies. That wasn't enough last time. The actress must like ladies only. I really don't understand, and I'll never understand how that makes you play the character better. But apparently it does. So everything that the character is, the real life actor or actress must be. And unfortunately, Ruby Rose was never enough for them. If you remember, they wanted to cancel her and take her. They ran her off Twitter, I believe, or some social media platform because she wasn't enough. So interesting developments nonetheless. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I would imagine the next video I do on this will be on the reaction to who they get to play her. Because I promise you, whoever they cast as the lead actress for the show, whoever's going to be this terrible character, they will say it's not enough. I cannot imagine it'll be enough. Or they'll hit every checkbox, and even that in itself will be kind of hilarious. And then season 2, of course, is coming, and that will be a disaster on itself. This is going to be a terrible season. This is going to be a terrible, terrible season. I can't wait. The ratings are going to get low. I mean, just seeing where it's at from where season 1 ended will be even better. Because season 1 actually picked up viewers because of Hush. And they're not going to be able to go into those threads now because they have to write Kate out however they're going to do that, and then they have to give this new character some wild origin. It's going to ruin the season and the pacing of the show. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Are you shocked that they're admitting that this is a bad move and it's going to pretty much impact the show and ruin it? What are your thoughts on that? Also, if you would, throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.